Morning, sunshine. What you doing? Hi, Lucy. Hi, Lucy. What you think? Huh? What you think? Chickens. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Little donk. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. All right, let's get in here. Watch out. Hang on. Woo. Morning, everybody. Chad, Adler Farms. No baby. Blah. Good grief. Easy wheezy. Alan. Look out. Look at you. Woo! Ma'am. Special treatment. Chickens. What you think? Snicker. Oh. Normally I go do their water, but I was out here later yesterday working, and uh-oh. Lady A just realized there's food. Now she's trying to get in. That a girl. Look at that form. Whew. Anyway, last night I was out here, well, not last night, but later yesterday I was out here working, so their water's good for now. Now we need to get everybody over here situated. Where's Mama and Rosie, though? So if you guys didn't know, we bought 4 goats at an auction a little over a month ago. I guess it's almost been 2 months ago. And 3 of them took off like the next day. Don't know where they went, but as you guys know, whether you're new here or old here, we've got several hundred acres that way that are part of a ranch. There's 50 acres that way. The neighbor's got 40 that way. It's not likely a goat's gonna come back. Bruce was the youngest of the 4 we bought. This is him right here. And he actually just bedded down at the back of the property when they all got out. I found him in the woods, got him out, no big deal. Then we got Bo from our friends at Walker Farm Fam as a wedding present. They gave us a fainting goat. This guy right here, this rooster, and we named him Cowboy after Ransom Walker, whose birthday's today, by the way. So be sure when this video's over, or in the comments right now if you're watching live, tell Ransom Walker happy birthday. We named that rooster Cowboy after Ransom. The reason I'm telling you this story is this little goat right here belongs to the neighbors. And she's been a runaway, or on the lam as they say, for about, I think like 4 months now. She's been living at the neighbors, hanging out with their horse. And then of course we got old Brucey Bruce, and he called her over here by peeing on his beard or whatever other things goats do that's really weird. Now we have this goat right here. The problem with that is she belongs to the neighbors, so we want to get her home obviously. But the other side is Bruce is too big. He is a lot bigger than her. And if he breeds her, that could be dangerous. You tired of me talking? You tired of me talking? The problem is catching her. So she's extremely quick. And she's very on edge, so to say. Like she knows something's up. She does not want to be trapped or caught or whatever. All right. Throw that out there. Boys, I got a fun video for you guys today. At least I think it's fun. Back when we closed on this property, the first thing, because I'm a grown man and I love tools, the first thing I bought was I think it's like a 55, 56 cc. There's no food down here for you. 55 or 56 cc chainsaw from Husqvarna. It's like, I mean, it's commercial grade. That was really, really cold. Woo, baby. Anyway, bought the beefiest chainsaw that you can buy that's not like, you know, a couple grand. I've used it quite a bit. It rips. It's no slouch. I mean, we've cut down several trees right here. This stump right there is almost 2.5 feet across. And it's a beast. I'm gonna use it today. You guys will get to see a little bit of that. Because what we're gonna do is start working on that tree line on the pond. I'm taking some of those trees out, trying to see what kind of damage those nutria or whatever's been damaging the pond. Try and see if we can take away some of their structure so they move on. There we go. So we got 2 up here. And then, as you know, we're hatching 2 eggs, or we're letting a broody, whoo, those are warm. We're letting a broody hen hatch a couple eggs. So I'm gonna leave her a couple, but they are, oh, does it have a hole? No, it does not. Sorry for the Band-Aid, it burned my finger. Yeah, they are marked. Even if they weren't marked, these are Jubilee Orpingtons from our friends at Adler Farms. Even if they weren't marked, they're much smaller than the eggs we normally get. So I can always tell them apart. Before we tackle that pond, I want to show you guys something. Ray and I are super excited about it. We've been keeping it from you. We'll let that water trough fill up. But yesterday, for the first time, we had not a contractor, but we had a guy that does concrete, named Kevin. And he'll probably be in some videos coming up. He knows about the channel. Howdy, buddy, if you see this. What we need to do, you guys know we've picked a house plan. He came out here and he was telling us what he thinks would be best for the layout of this house. And you guys, more than welcome if you do this kind of thing, if you build houses, if you're a contractor, whatever. He told us what would be best to put our house right here. And it's super cool. It's the first time we've talked to somebody about a plan or what we want to do or whatever. It's just super exciting, so exciting. So Kevin came out yesterday, and to give you reference where we're at, this is a 5-acre hay pasture. That's a 5-acre tract right there. And hopefully we can hay it one of these days. It needs a lot of work. We want the house right about here. And somebody said, man, I can't believe you bought that cabin now. I mean, you're gonna build a house, or is that cabin still a good purchase? Blah, blah, blah. Here's what we know. And remember, we're taking our time on this. You know, a lot of people, when you buy land, if you've bought land before to develop, you really want to wait about a year and see it go through the seasons and what you want. We get so much runoff from the neighbor's pasture that this is like a marsh come rainy season. However, whoever designed this land, whoever decided to put the pond down there on the other side of the cabin, did an amazing job, because when it rains, even though the rivers are still up days later, even though the lakes are still up, the ponds are still up, as quick as the rain comes, it leaves because of the way they graded this land. So what we needed Kevin to do was tell us if a stem wall was the best way to go. And if you don't know what stem walls are, a foundation, that's where they dig the footings and then they build up with cinder blocks. And we're thinking we're gonna need 5 on the west side and maybe 2 block on the east side to keep the water from going inside the house. That'll give us a crawl space, which we're really excited about, because that's options for a storm shelter. And I really do prefer a crawl space. You know, I grew up, mom and dad built, 20 some houses by the time I was 21. And I like me a crawl space, I really do. They put a lot of basements in theirs. We don't need a basement. I like a crawl space. I like a good clean one. Like, we'll have Kevin do the footings. We'll have him do the cinder block foundation, the stem walls, and then we'll put base rock in the foundation. keep weeds from growing up. We can put 3M plastic down there. We can even put lights down there, make it almost a storage shelter, or a place for storage, I should say. What Kevin noticed, which is what I also noticed talking to him, we have 2 hydrants up the road right there. Can you see one? There's one right by that utility pole. There's one directly across from it. That's 300 feet from the driveway. From right about here, all the way up there, which is 500 feet, from here to there, whether you put your house here, 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 and so on, the grade of this land doesn't really change. So you could really put it as far back as you want or as far forward as you want, which is good because we really want it pretty far back. What we noticed, now we're going to wind up with, you know, when you step out your back porch, there's probably going to be 8 to 10 steps, if not maybe a few more, but we're okay with that. And then we'll have the pond as our back view. I know I'm giving you guys a lot of information, but I told you this was a big update video. So if you don't catch what we're doing in this video, if you don't pick up what we're laying down, you don't smell what we're stepping in, I don't know what to tell you. This is it. This is all the information we got. This is our water line right here. That's as far as it comes. So it makes sense to put the house right here. This is also a lot of sandstone. It's not one big solid surface, which Kevin was saying is actually worse sometimes. It's a lot of rocks and things like this, which I sincerely appreciate Kevin because I know what he's up against when he starts digging these footings and these trenches. But I think this is where the house is going to go. And we're super excited. We sent our house plans to Kevin. If you didn't know, I'll link them down below one more time. We picked out a house plan. What's going to happen with the cabin though? This is unique. A lot of you guys were wondering about this. So this is a 16 by 44 cabin, and it's just sitting on concrete blocks, and then it's on 4 skids that run the length. I mean, they're not 44 feet long, but it's on 4 skids that run the length of it. And what we want to do, I'm happy we put that there. We ran electric to it, which is no big deal. We can always disconnect that because we're going to move this. You guys know that. Now that we've had this cabin sitting here and we realize how quiet the neighborhood is, you know, we can't really see our neighbor over here, which we like. We love her. It's no big deal. But if we put our house here, we can't see her, which is what we want. We can't see the neighbors up there. So the house is going to go right here, and then off the side of the house. And it's not crooked. It just looks that way. I wish I could somehow make that look level. But the camera just flattens it out and it looks crooked, but trust me, it's not. They had like an 8-foot level when they put this thing in there, and they put that level all over the floor in there. And it's level as a joke. Is a joke really level? Does that work? I don't know, maybe not. But off the side of our house, I wish I could put a plan right here, but I don't know who owns the images. But one of these days I'll draw it out on graph paper so I can show you. Or you can just click the link down below. But the house will sit right here, and the cabin will be kind of off to the northeast a little bit via a breezeway. There'll be like an actual hallway connecting the cabin to the house. So it'll be pretty stinking cool. But what I talked to Kevin about was, do we put stem walls underneath that cabin? Is it worth the money? Is it worth the cost? Because one of the reasons we're building a smaller home, it's about 1,200 square feet, is because we have that. We're going to put a bedroom in each end for the 2 oldest boys, a kitchenette, that kind of thing. Possibly a washer and dryer, we'll see. But when the 2 oldest boys start driving, which is a long time for Carter, it's not that long for Case, there's an exterior door. You know, we can put a little driveway in right here so Case can kind of have his own quarters and come and go, not wake us old people up. And it's just a solid plan. It works. But what Kevin mentioned was this cabin, you know, one of these days, and I mentioned it to him too, one of these days we may not need this cabin and we may sell it. You know, we're talking 15 years down the road possibly. But we don't want a 16 by 44 foundation sitting out there if we decide to sell this cabin and spend that extra money on it. So what we're going to do is put a piered, P-I-E-R-E-D foundation underneath it, just a few piers. I'm going to keep them really low. I'm going to keep this really level. That way I can still get underneath it. But we're going to put in some piers with some bolts and just bolt it down. We're not going to put, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 24 essentially places where this is supported, 24 stacks of cinder blocks supported. We're not going to put in 24 piers. What we are going to do is put in maybe 12, and that way we can bolt this down, because If strong enough winds come through to roll this off of a piered and bolted down foundation, it's a tornado. I mean, it's gonna take out the house, it's gonna take out everything. So we're not trying to like weatherproof it. We're just trying to make sure that it's stable and all that good stuff. Then if we ever move that, it's no big deal to just, you know, destroy those piers, knock them underneath the ground, that kind of thing. We don't have a ton of gravel and a ton of things to worry about. So anyway, how's that plan sound to everybody? Everybody like it? I think so. What are you guys leaning on go over there? Tessie, you getting ready to send him on a ride? Super excited about that. That's a big deal. And those plans won't change barring something, you know, crazy happening that we just can't foresee right now. But those are our plans. We're content with them. That's what we want to do. How's that cabin going to attach off the backside? I don't know. We're not super worried about it. We'll make it work. It'll kind of be like the way the Cog Hill, it'll kind of be like the way Jason and Brooke did it over at Cog Hill for the mother-in-law's quarters. But ours will be a covered breezeway. We don't want like Carter and Case having to actually go outside to get into our house. So it's a good place to like put a pantry in. Like literally think of just the main house and then like some of you may be more familiar with like a pool house, but it's attached via a breezeway. So I hope I'm explaining it right. One of these days I'll draw it up, be able to show you, you know, something that you can actually look at. But we might even put a pantry in the breezeway. I don't know. We'll utilize the space somehow, or maybe that'll be the laundry room. I don't know. If we make that the laundry room, it'll work. Because right now, the house we live in, the laundry room is right next to the master bedroom, and I'm over it. The next project for today, and it's a beautiful day to do it. Hang on. It is only 63 degrees, which is glorious. It's gonna be 90 degrees today, Thursday, the day you're seeing this. It'll be 91 tomorrow, Friday. It's supposed to be 92 Saturday, but then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're set for 100 degrees again and no rain in sight. Oh my goodness. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. I am so ready for fall, which we barely get because around here it's like hot summer. Then you get like a couple days of fall and then it's winter. I mean, it's gone. A project I've got for today. Hang on, we don't want to go swimming. I'm gonna see, I'm watching for snakes like a hawk. We're gonna get wet. Oh, I'm wearing the perfect footwear. I'm not even in four-wheel drive. These things are handling it just fine. But I want to take that chainsaw and cut some of these trees down. I don't even care if they fall in the water. We've also got a guy coming to brush hog pretty much everything you see. Like I'm gonna turn him loose. And he's been doing it a long time. I think this is his like 7th season. He retired. This is what he does now for side hustle. He's got the equipment. He's got a big beefy tractor. It's not oversized, so he can be able to get around here and maneuver around. But I'm gonna have him, if I can't get him with my truck, I'm gonna have him use his tractor to pull these trees out of the water. And he's coming down here Saturday to take a look, and he's coming down Monday to work. So I hope he's got a cab because we're set up for 100 degrees. Everybody in the trappers group I'm talking to on Facebook, everybody that some of y'all, you've said these are likely muskrat holes, which they probably are, but this is a beaver dam. They tried to dam this up. We know that now. Those sticks go all the way across. Look at these sticks. Look at the ends of them. Let me find one. I was over there in the water yesterday. See that stick right there? Oh, I can't quite zoom in on it, but well, that one right there, even front and center. Those are beaver markings. A beaver built all that. So everybody we've been talking to, all the advice we've gotten, they said clear that bank, get rid of all that stuff for them to eat and mess with, and yeah, just take care of it and get rid of it. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it today. At least that's the plan. You know, I bought a nice saw. Those trees right there will be nothing for that saw. I am going to leave the stumps. Boys and girls, hang on. Those trees will be nothing for that saw we bought. And this saw is really nice. It's got something in it called auto tune, so it like senses the humidity and stuff like that. It kind of goes against everything my dad and my grandpa taught me, which is fewer computers in a machine, easier to work on. But this thing is tested and tried in commercial saws, so we know it works. But you never know. You set out with a plan. When you're a farmer, rancher, whatever, every morning you set out with a plan, and when you get there, sometimes that plan gets interrupted. But we're gonna give her the old full send. All right, I pulled my truck down here. Saw's in the cabin. We're gonna grab it here in a second. But I pulled my truck down here and I wanted to show you guys. I set up a bat box. If you don't know what a bat box is, it's a bat house. And I set one up almost 3 months ago, and I don't believe we have any bats in it. And I'm wondering if any of you guys have ever messed with this before. I'm wondering if it's because it's on the light pole. We have a globe that we pay for from the electric company, like so many dollars a month. It comes on every night, that kind of thing. I'm wondering if that's why bats aren't in here. Now, sometimes, believe it or not, it can take up to a year for bats to move into a bat house. I may move it. The only thing is we really wanted it near the cabin and near the house. Like, I've got some taller trees back here. Bats, if you didn't know, can eat like 1,000 mosquitoes in one night. So what I may do is put one closer to the pond. I've got another one. I'll put a link down below. And I'm not sponsored, not affiliated. They don't know who I am. Just bought them off Amazon. I may put one on the pond, and then we may put one on the side of the cabin, which I really didn't want to do. But if we're going to tuck this like over here, and it's going to be the boys, you know, the boys aren't going to care. They'll think it's probably pretty cool. They got a bat house on the side of their cabin. Remember those wires that we found over by the pond? Here's where they start. How crazy is that? So these wires used to run to those two metal buildings. These aren't ours. They used to run to these two metal buildings that sat right there that we buried and burned what we could. And then they run all the way over there, not that tree, all the way over there. And they used to power a pump where that tire and those T-posts are. So there is that much wire underground, believe it or not. So I'm looking for ways to maybe use that. But we'll see. I'm not getting much help from the people that used to own this and did that. Man, if a bat came flying out of there. There's nothing in it. I don't know what the camera showed, but I had my flash on. It just wasn't very bright. If a bat came flying out of there, I would need new underoos. That is for sure. All right, let's go in here. If you haven't seen the cabin in a while, nothing's changed. This will be a bedroom. That'll remain a loft. That'll be a bedroom. That'll remain a loft. These lofts add structure to these longer buildings during shipping and transport. And since we're going to move it, we obviously want to maintain those. They're plenty high enough, but they are every bit of about 7.5 feet high. So that's plenty for a teenager and a 6-year-old boy. And they'll each have their own loft if they want it. And we can also put storage up there, that kind of thing. But on another note, here is the behemoth. This thing is an absolute beast. 55cc, 550 XP. And my goodness, it rips. So we're gonna box this thing up. Go. These came from Amazon, by the way. I'm sure somebody will ask. They fit all different kinds of saws, but they just happen to work with the brand that I've got. And I've got a little one there. I think that's the Mark 120. All right, we're taking the truck back here just in case anything happens, because I am alone. But I let people know what I was doing today. Ray does not know. Grandma does, but I don't think Grandma grasps what I'm actually doing. I am on camera if anything were to happen. Like, we got these remote cameras down here. And I'm bringing the truck back here in case something happens. I don't have to walk out with a, you know, in case I lose a digit or something. I'm gonna be very careful. We're gonna take it slow. None of these trees are more than, you know, maybe 8 inches around. This saw's gonna make real light work of them. and I'm not gonna do anything crazy, certainly not alone, especially with this guy that's coming to brush hog. He's bringing a tractor that's more than capable of pulling these out. So there's zero reason for me to do anything to whatever. Plus, my bicep is still healing. And that was one thing we thought of. If you guys, a couple videos ago, we let you guys know that somebody kind of called us out for not having done much on the land. And we explained that, we just closed on it in May. A month before we closed, I tore my bicep, which rendered me worthless up until about 30 days ago. So that's 90 days in recovery. And mind you, with that torn bicep, I personally dug an 800-foot trench with an excavator and then laid 2-inch PVC pipe in it, poly pipe, not PVC, poly, big, heavy, 300-foot and 500-foot rolls, all by myself. All right. Well, this will give you a good view first. This is what he's going to brush hog. And it's been brush hog before. I actually used my little John Deere 155, which is just a 48-inch cut lawnmower. But I used it to mow these paths, and now the cows keep them short. But we want to turn him loose on all of this. So it's pretty cool. I'll let you guys take this view in. I don't think you see it very often. We've got two beautiful oaks right here. But all these junk trees right here, this is what we want to make go away. Here's the back side of the pond, the house. You can see where we're at. It's crazy how big 20 acres is. As you guys are out there looking for land, I don't mention it much now, but when I first started doing this and I first started looking for land, and I met Ray, and I was like, I want 100 acres or nothing. When you start looking at land, first off, that's expensive. We've got 20 acres, and our project list is a mile long, and I could add stuff to it every day. I don't know what I would do with more land. I mean, if you've got 100 acres of pasture and you run 50, 60 head of cattle, that's one thing, or horses or whatever. But, I've got enough room to, practice pew-pews back here and not worry about my neighbors. I've got enough room to, think about it. You could put 6 alpacas on an acre, and we've got 6 alpacas on 3 acres. So we could put, don't tell Ray, but we could put 12 more alpacas up there and wouldn't even notice a load on the land. When this 20 acres came up, I mean, it took me a little bit. I had to think about it, and I was like, why am I overthinking? 20 acres is a lot of land. It's a lot of land. And there's some awesome creators out there that I follow that do more on 5 acres than we do here on 20. Way more. I mean, there's just, when you start setting your sights, look at what you'll use. Because if you don't use it, if you truly don't use it, which is why we need this brush hog back here so we can utilize it. If you don't use it, it's just an extra expense. And it's something that you can apply your funds. If you don't buy that huge tract of land, you can buy your funds, or you can, move your funds around and get other things. So I'm very grateful. There was a couple people instrumental in my life telling me, hey, 20 acres that's a lot of land. Don't pass on that. But this right here, it's more signs of a beaver. All of these were made by a beaver. All of this. Look at that. So you can't tell me I don't have a beaver. This is definitely beaver made. It's pretty cool, but it's got to go. We got to take some of these out. I'm going to start small. You can see I've kind of got a natural line right here where these trees just kind of grew up over the last couple years, and they could be what's encouraging beavers to stay here. So we want to take away their food source and their source of a house. And I do believe that they were trying to dam that up right there, which is funny because why would they do that? Water's not flowing. Well, the overflow is over there through those trees. So obviously if they dam this up, water stops leaving the pond. I think that's what they were trying to do. Now, one of my trapping buddies said, when you put your cows on the land, they may have forced the beavers to move. And this may have been a project they were working on. And now they're gone. But I mean, look at this. That's what they were doing. Look at that. That's not that old. I mean, we're talking just a few months. Old Leave It 2 could still be down there for all I know. We might start sawing some logs and he may come out and get mad, wondering who's stomping around on top of his house. And if he does, we'll have us some beaver nuggets. All right. I got my Husky chaps on. Saw is fueled up. And we got some bar oil in it. We're gonna see if this baby will start. I don't have hearing protection because, well, it's loud, but it's a new saw, so it's a manageable loud. It's not so loud that you can't stand it, and I'm not gonna be running it for 8 hours. So I'm not worried about that. I also want to be able to hear things. If anything starts to snap or fall or something like that, I wanna know it. As far as eye protection goes, again, I know anything can happen, guys. I know anything can happen. I'll share with you if something does. Trust me, you're gonna get a front row seat. I've got my Crocs in 4-wheel drive. I got my chaps on. I'm feeling pretty good about what we got going on here. We're gonna start at one end. This would be south, and just start working our way that way. And some of this stuff we will let fall in the pond, and it'll be like cover for little critters and things for the boys to get their hooks stuck on. That'll be a good time. Your smaller bait fish do need that. Otherwise you can't grow bait fish or huge bass either. That was something right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 trees. Twice as many to go. I'm sure there's gonna be some safety sallies in the comments, you know, footwear, eye protection, ear protection, all that stuff, but I'm good with what I'm doing, and I can see well enough, I can see well enough that I'm content and I feel safe. If I didn't feel safe, I wouldn't be doing this. But the reason I let those fall, we'll just leave them there for a little bit. Remember, I've rented a excavator in the past, and I don't know if a 55 horse counts as a mini or not, but I rent a 55 horse excavator with a thumb on the bucket. I can pick all those up real easy. But look at that beaver sign right there. That's not me and my chainsaw. That's a beaver trying to bring down that tree. That's not old. They were here. They were definitely here. There's a big old turtle trying to figure out what's going on. Easy, buddy. I've got a few more to go, and with that bucket, what I'll do if I can't get some of these over there, and I may not use my truck, guys. I may wait till we get the Mini X and pick all these up at once. And the reason I'm not cutting all the way to the ground is because I want to make sure I get the stumps. So what I'm doing, it's also safer if I cut them with like a stump about 3 or 4 feet up. You know, nobody's going to run over them or trip over them or anything like that, because you know, there's a 3 foot, 4 foot stump sticking out of the ground, and we haven't even been able to get in here. I mean, it's so thick that we haven't even been able to get in here. But that that light brown color, see that beaver den, that light brown color, the water is way down. That's how high the water used to be. Anywhere you see that light brown dirt, that's where the water was. Like, we've never seen those trees right there. That mess of trees right there was underwater, probably to just this side of the stump that I left when I cut that down. All of this was underwater. But this will help. It also, we have some gorgeous sunsets. And when these trees are in full bloom, yes, it's pretty, but there's a snake right there. I'll mind that when I look over there. But hey, we got some bubbles. Hang on. So the 2 or 3 times I've either seen the muskrat or the beaver, whatever we've got, yeah, there's some major bubbles and swirls. Man, what would happen if that dude came out of the ground right now? There he is. What is that? What is that, guys? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I got this on film. He's still here. What is that? My pew-pew's in my truck. What was it? You guys saw it. There he is. He's coming this way. Man, he is mad. He knows something's up. Oh, here's his bubbles over here. I cannot, there he is. It's a beaver. 100%. Those swirls right there are him. Where's he going? I can't believe he's here. Man, I really thought I saw a big dark brown tail. It makes sense though, because that sign right there, that's fresh. I mean, that's real fresh. It's fresher than when we thought he wasn't here, he'd moved on. But that is recent. My goodness. I cannot believe he's still here. I mean, that's the only hole that still leads into the wall. I mean, I don't know, maybe, let me zoom in. Maybe that's a den right there. I can't believe he surfaced. I mean, he's mad. He's looking for, there he is over there. See all that stuff moving? Where's he going? That is crazy. There, it is a beaver. It sure is. If I move, he'll disappear. I really am in disbelief. What a time to not have a pew. So if you guys didn't know, the reason we're having to fix all this is because he will burrow through our pond dam, and it will not hold water, and it will be a very expensive fix. Let me tell you right now, if it weren't for this pond, with the temperatures we've had this summer, I don't know that our cows would have made it. Woo, boy. My goodness. So when I left you guys, we had just seen the infamous beaver that's been here since the first day I saw this property. Because the first day we saw this property, the previous landowner and I, we found a stump that had been cut clean off. It was only like 1.5 inches, 2 inches around. And I've never seen what beavers can do. So when we saw that stump, and the previous landowner, you know, this is supposed to be vacant and empty. Nobody's supposed to be back here. But he knew he had visitors every now and then. But when we saw that, we thought somebody just cut it for some silly reason. It didn't cross either one of our minds that a beaver would just snap that. So fast forward. Whoo, I'm getting my steps in today. By the way, I'm down 11 pounds. After that, probably a month later, even before we'd closed, Ray and I were out here and we saw what we thought was a beaver. Now, we've never seen a definitive tale to call this a beaver. That's why we didn't know. And some of you guys say beavers don't burrow. I got news for you. Beavers burrow. Some of those holes come out of the ground over here. So he can actually swim in the pond straight into the bank and go inside. Ooh, thorns. Owie. Go into the bank and then come up on the backside of the dam and leave. The good news is I found the overflow. So there's the pond, peninsula. Overflow is right here. And I don't think the beaver did this because that actually goes right down the creek into the overflows where the cows hang out all the time. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a pipe right there. I don't know. Let's see if we can go to the other side. I made a dent, man. I made a dent. I'm gonna take those two out also. There's a couple oak trees I'll probably leave. Probably leave that oak tree because it's growing in the overflow. I don't know. I need to get somebody out here that knows what they're doing when it comes to ponds and what can grow on the banks. But it's not like we have a shortage of trees either. So if we were to take these out, it'll be all right. But I called my trapping buddy when that beaver came out and he said, dude, I told you, man, beavers can't stand running water. And when I started cutting these trees down earlier, I only cut like 6 down. And he heard the splashes and he heard water running, or what he thought was water running. And he came out, broad daylight, man, 10:30 in the morning. So it's Thursday, the day you guys are seeing this on Facebook, might be a day later. He heard these trees hitting the water and he couldn't stand it. And he came right on out. Thought this was the overflow. Can I get under there or is that more thorns? No, that's not too bad. Let's try it. I'm doing this for you guys. I got my Crocs in 4x4. Still got my chaps on. Hang on. Woo. We're going in. Okay. So normally, when you build a pond, you put in a pipe and you make that pipe, I think it's just below grade. Yeah, just below grade. So the old shoreline where we keep telling you the water's usually up that high, normally there'd be a pipe like right here and it'd have like a 12-inch opening or an 18-inch. It'd go down, it'd make a 90 and it'd come out on the other side of the dam. And I thought that's what we had over here, but I don't see anything. That's an animal trail right there though. See that arch? Something uses that. I don't see. The cows have done this. Usually the water is that high right there. I mean, look how much, that's probably 16, 17, maybe 20 feet down. So depending on what the grade is, you know, I'm telling you, man, as far down as this pond is, being 2 feet deep out there, I guarantee when this is full, it's every bit of 12 feet deep right here. So we'll find out this winter. We'll use that boat. We will figure it out. But I was looking for a hole in here. I don't see anything. I keep waiting on that beaver to resurface, man. He's still out here. I only had a chainsaw on me, and obviously that ain't gonna work. I called DNR and a conservation agent that's a family friend and told him what was going on. And one of the conservation agents, he has known about this beaver and given us the green light since April. Now I waited until we closed on the pond and then we didn't see the beaver anymore. We still have that green light. I will not be in trouble if we relocate this beaver, so you don't gotta worry about calling. I know some of them are good for the ecosystem. Some of them do good things, but he's ruining my pond dam, which I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you're talking about $5,000 to $10,000 to come out and repair a pond dam if he were to actually burrow all the way through. That's a big deal. Right now, I think what we can do if we get rid of him is take an excavator and claw away at his holes, his den, then just smooth them over with like a track hoe or something. There was a huge amount of bubbles by that duck a second ago, and I thought it was him. Now I don't see him. The crazy thing is though, when I stood on that peninsula, which essentially is the highest part, actually where I'm standing is higher, but I was on the peninsula and the water is so shallow that when he's swimming around, you can see him. You can either see where he's at, or you can literally see a dark swirl and spots. And when he goes under, you see a ripple. Now we do have some 4 or 5 pound bass in here, and they could have just, you know, hammered some wasp or something that came down to get a drink. Because I'm making all this racket, I really think it's probably the beaver. This gives you an idea how high this dam is. When Adler and Ray and I come back here, you know where we park, and I always say, I'm afraid of snakes, I don't want to go in there. That's it right there. But I'm probably every bit of 20 feet above that point over there, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So the rest of this does need to be cleaned up. It's not safe to do by myself. I'm not even sure it's safe to do with a chainsaw. So you might have to get somebody out here with like a mulching head on a skid steer or something that's a little more robust. I really wanted that beaver for you guys. But it is crazy. They've been here for a very long time, these beavers. Very long. I mean, look at this. That's all done by a beaver. That's old. That's been here a while. It's crazy. He definitely has to go. We cannot coexist with a beaver and have this pond be what we need it. He will destroy the pond. Check this out though. A couple episodes ago, Ray and I brought that little inflatable boat out here, and she stuck her hand with the camera in it, like way back in that hole. And I guarantee that beaver was watching us. But I mean, that's another hole right there. That's from him. I didn't cut that off. He chopped that off. I got my chainsaw and I got a pew over there. So let me get out of here safely and I'll check back with you guys. Hang on. So I'm currently editing today's video that you guys are watching right now. I'm sitting here waiting on the beef. I've got something to relocate him with if necessary. Sitting here on the pond, it'll be interesting if Ray's at work. It'll be interesting if she checks that pond cam over there to see what in the world I'm doing. Everybody say hi, Ray. How you doing? So yeah, we're gonna sit here and edit and see if the beaver shows up. Hopefully he does, and I'll show you guys by the end of this video. If not, this will be the end of the video, but we'll see. It'll take me about an hour to edit it, and I got pick case up at 3 o'clock. It's currently 1:20. So yeah, we'll see here in a little bit, but check out the new landscape. All those trees out along the bank. Looks pretty good. Now we need to get them all cleaned up out of there, but an excavator will make short work of that. So anyway, see you guys in a minute. All right, it's been almost 2 hours. I have seen hide nor hair, or teeth or tail, of that beaver. Man, I really thought there was no way he could refuse some of this fresh timber. And I've had my headphones in. I mean, there's no way he's been able to like hear me sitting here. And he came out earlier in broad daylight, and I was talking and running a chainsaw, so I don't think that was it anyway. But he's definitely taking his afternoon siesta. Unfortunately, I can't show you the infamous beaver today. He has eluded us one more time, one more day. But I'm happy to see him, because at least now we know he's still here, and we're just gonna have to do what we can. Somebody reached out to me on Facebook that watches the channel, so if you see this, I appreciate it. And you said that you actually trapped, and you're in Missouri, where I'm from, and and you'd be happy to come help. So I may take you up on that. This right here, if you know, yes, the highlands and the cows, the steers, used to walk along this and then go down into the overflow, and they won't be able to do that now. They'll have to go around, but they'll adapt. It's okay. There's also some giant holes that many of you were worried about. That's the beavers' dens. So you guys were worried about the cows stepping in those holes and getting hurt. Now they won't come over here at all, so I kind of eliminated that. So with that said though, I don't want to name him or her, because ultimately he or she will be relocated, will be gone. We can't have them here. They're wrecking that damn wall. Yeah, with that said, I'm headed to pick up Case. You know, maybe, hopefully, in the next video, I'll have some more to show you, but I keep hearing splashes and it's just frogs, but it makes me like, is that him? I sincerely appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Again, I mean, how blessed am I? This is my life. This is our life. I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful, and we can't do any of this without you guys, so just stick around. We got plenty more coming. Y'all be good, don't work too hard, don't make it weird. God bless. Deuces. See you guys.